Okay, in this video we're going to talk about you just replaced the capacitor and it's still, your AC system still won't work after you replaced it. Now there's going to be some things that you're going to have to check first, okay? If your AC still doesn't work after you replaced your capacitor. Now most of the time this is your compressor. Now if you just replaced your capacitor and your system's really hot and it still won't work, okay, what happens is in your compressor there's an overload inside, you can't see it, and when your compressor gets really hot it'll actually turn off your compressor. Sometimes these overloads, especially on the train units, if you don't put water on your compressor, I've seen them off for about 45 minutes. So after you replace your capacitor, sometimes you actually have to water down your system, okay? So what you do is you get a water hose, okay? You want to get a water hose, okay? And you want to water down your compressor and cool it off, okay? So that's one thing that you're going to have to do, is to water down your compressor, okay? What will happen is your compressor will get so hot that there's a thermal overload inside your compressor that will keep it off for safety reasons, right? Also too, your fan motor here has an overload too, so you want to cool these down too. Sometimes the fans will also turn off for about 10 minutes, so just water them down and it'll usually come down too. Sometimes you really got to cool down these motors, okay? What you want to do is, if you feel your compressor really hot, all you gotta do is touch it, okay? If your compressor is really hot, you want to cool it down with water so it'll come back on once you replace your capacitor. You could actually do that with the fan. These fans also have an overload in them too, okay? They are thermally protected too, okay? But it's usually more common with the compressors than with the actual fans, okay? And sometimes you have to do this for about 10 or 15 minutes. Just leave the water on there after you replace your capacitor, okay? The next thing that you want to do after you watered it down, okay, if that doesn't work, this unit has a plug, so you don't got to worry, okay? You want to make sure your plug is not melted. Sometimes if your plug is melted, your compressor won't turn on either. And some units don't have plugs, some units have wires. Sometimes the wires will go bad on your compressor, okay? So you want to make sure that the wires going to your compressor are good too, okay? The other thing that you're going to want to check too, okay? If, let's say, you checked, you watered down your compressor, you checked the wires on your compressor, the next thing you want to check is, you always want to make sure too that you have the right voltage going to your contactor, okay? A lot of times these contactors won't have the right voltage going to them, and then you have a problem with the voltage. So you want to get your meter, okay? Here's your meter, okay? You want to make sure that you check the bottom part on your unit, and you want to make sure that you have the proper voltage. What you want to do is you have the main power. So here's your wires right here, and then your main power coming in will be right over here on your contactor. You always want to make sure, you want to check your main power and make sure you have 240 volts, or usually between 220 and 240 on your contactor, okay? So always it's important to check your voltage if it still doesn't work. Most of the time what will happen is you're only going to have one phase, or which is one leg, and then what will happen is your unit will only have about 120 volts where you need about 240, right? So that's another problem that can happen after you did this, okay? And if it still doesn't want to come on, okay, you want to get a hard start, okay? And sometimes these compressors will struggle a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to put a hard start on your compressor. So you're going to want to put it not on this one. This is your fan. The fan's usually going to be a single brown wire, so you're going to want to put one connection right here, and then another one right here. in the back. Okay, so you got one side on your common, then the other side's going to be on your hermetic side. It doesn't really matter which wire goes to where, as long as you put one wire on your common and then the other wire on your hermetic side. This is called the Super Boost. What the Super Boost will do, it will increase your compressor torque by 500%. Okay, so this is what you can also do too after you just replaced your capacitor and it still doesn't work. But this is the last thing that you do. You only put this if you have no choice. Okay, if your compressor is trying to start and it still won't start, you can pop one of these on there. But before you pop one of these up on there, you want to check if you have proper voltage going to your contactor. You want to make sure that your wires are actually good on your actual compressor right here. Okay, and that's pretty much what you do. If your compressor doesn't want to start, the most important thing is you want to water this compressor down. That will usually get you up 90% of the time. These compressors, they make them usually to last at least 5 or 10 years. So I mean, as long as your machine, you know, isn't 20 or 25 years, I mean, usually your compressor will start. If you put a new capacitor in there and you water it down, it should come on. Okay, thanks for watching the video.